But now I think I'm going to turn things over to Patrick Triscritti. He's going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about reporting based off issues and not tasks. So Patrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and grab control.
Please do.
And can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
So I'm in the same site as Mike was presenting in. This is our CS training site. I'll go ahead and log in here, get us started. So Mike went over a little bit of reporting on tasks. I'm going to go over reporting on issues. In Issuetrak here, we like to make issue reporting as easy to obtain as actually submitting issues and putting issue data into the system. So I'm going to kind of show you, we have many different ways to get information out of here. Most of this reporting is on open issues. A lot of times you really don't care about the closed issues. There's historic data you can search for and report on, but most of the time you're worried about the open issues and working those to close. So what I'm going to show you here is our fancy new issue hub. Just came out with this in 14.0. There's a lot to the issue hub, a lot of data in here. As you can see, we can make custom tabs. This open issues, of course, you have everything. So one of the good features of the issue hub is I like to call it filtering on the fly. So you have a lot of data here. Well, let's filter it out. We want to see, all right, let's see everything submitted by Mike. So we're going to come in here. We're going to paste Mike right into this filter. We're going to say, okay, so you can see our count went down because not everything's submitted by Mike. Well, let's see what's open and submitted by Mike. That's site ops. Well, we can take this ops, we can drop it down into the filter here. And you can see this is dynamic filtering. So anything with ops will apply. So you don't have to have the whole issue type. Sometimes you don't know the issue type or you kind of want to guess, and you have that here. As you can see, this really gets a more concise look. So say I want to see everything always assigned to Mike for site ops. I don't want to have to filter each time. Well, you can create custom tabs. So, and these are on a per user setting. So the way I like to create a custom tab, I'm going to show you that now, is I like to clone the open issues tab. So we're going to click the gear icon. That's going to bring up the options for this tab. We're just simply going to clone the tab. All right. So we're going to call this Mike Site Ops. Always want to have a good naming convention so you know what the tab means. So now we're going to filter again. Drop these filters in. And say we want to sort by last activity. So kind of see the most recent activities on these. As you notice, these bigger arrows are the ones that have the filter on it. So you can see in submitted by an issue type. And then the smaller arrow is either ascending or descending order. So we know that's sorted by last activity. Also, we want to say, hey, well, we don't need the substatus or required by. So we can come in here, we can take these off just by simply dragging and dropping. You can add as all of the available columns. There's a lot of user-defined fields in here. So if you have a certain field that's custom, you can bring it in here. So we're going to save that. As you can see, it gives us our concise list. And it didn't save the filters. I'm going to have to add those over again. Let me do that real quick. So we're going to go ahead and save this tab. So now we have a Mike Site Ops tab, and this is per user. This isn't on global. So you each user can set up their own tabs. You can also create and share these tabs out to other users. So say I want to only give it to the Agent 1 access group and the operations organization. You can save that as well. So if you have any questions about that, you can post them in the Q&A. So the Issue Hub is a really good reporting tool, has the on-the-fly filtering, create the custom tabs for what you need to see. So you can see here, I've filtered by the class help desk. So the class has to do with some of the dashboard views. I'm going to go into the dashboard now. So the dashboard is another way of reporting, just getting information out quick and easy of Issuetrak. Of course, we have the system overview. You can see all the opened issues, every issue that's assigned. We have our current quarter performance. So if you're using SLAs, you can kind of see how your progress is going and your compliance status at an easy glance. See the open issues by assignee. So for the HR technician, you can click right on the graph, or you can also just click one of these numbers here. And before the issue hub, I really worked out of the dashboard a lot. I'd have this screen up. I'd click on here to see the issue. All right, I'd work that issue, probably close it. And then once you close an issue, I would go ahead and just close this tab down, refresh this. Now you've got, oh, let me get on the next issue. So it helps you stay organized as well. So Tammy wants me to show the clone option for the tabs again. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. So we have the open issues. Like I said, I like to clone the open issues tab. It's a good starting point. Then you simply click clone tab here. Fill out your, edit your tab, and you're on your way. So we have so like I said, we have the dashboard and we have the issue hub so far. I also wanted to show you the My Settings page. So your default homepage can be the issue hub. You can set it to any menu option that is available for you. You can set your default tab on the issue hub. And on the dashboard is the classes. So let me show you that. I forgot about that one. So this dashboard is showing all class. So say you only want to see help desk because you work in the help desk department. You don't need to see anything for HR facilities. You can simply either drop the class down, or you can say, I'm in the help desk. Let me just have the help desk tab here. So once we update these settings, now the dashboard will be help desk. So that's really good as well. Class can also be used for reporting on issues as well. So next, oh, hold on. Next up is, let's see, the summary reports. So I kind of want to show you, this is another way to get good data out. So if we click on reports and we go to the summary reports, see we have these built-in summary reports. A good one is summary of issue by issue type. So once you run these, it's going to ask for a date range. So let's go with last year. All the issue types last year. And we're going to show the report. And you can see we have many issue types. It's going to show you how many issues were open before the period, how many were open in the period, closed in the period, and left open. And these are all clickable so that you can see exactly what issues are in there. Let's see. As well, we have custom reports. So everyone should be familiar with custom reports. If you wanted to search on closed issues, this is where you would go. So you can create custom reports. I've created a report here called Patrick's Org Submitted Reports. So in this report, I have decided to show all of the issues for certain date range, group by organization, and then group by issue type. So we're going to create a query here. So when building a report, you first have to build a query. So I like to explain it as the queries are going to get the filtered data. They're going to sort, group, and count. They will, actually, they're going to get the filtered data. Then the reports are going to sort, group, count, make it look more presentable. So what I'm going to do is just show you what I did here. I'm going to edit this org query. Just do selected fields. You can add more fields later if you need that information. But we've got issue number, issue type, organization. So now we have our filter, and you can see with the date filters, we have a lot of options. We can do submitted on the last 90 days. We can do the last 90 weeks, last 90 months, last 90 years. We can also choose last year. So what I'll do is come in here and save this filter expression. So I want to see every issue submitted last year. So we're going to save and run that. And you're going to see it's going to give us pretty much raw data. This is all the data we wanted, but it's not that easy to read. So what we do is we're going to build a report. So we come in here to reports, and I've built this org submitted report. We're going to edit that. You can see it using the query and the fields from the query. Next is the grouping of the data. So I want to group by organization. So I want to see how many issues were submitted last year by this organization. And then I want to break those issues down by issue type and get a good concise count. And then the grouping defaults, we're going to not show the header for the issue type. I'll show you what that means in just a second once we show the details. We don't need to sort any data. So here's the formatting. So for issue number, I want to count to see how many issues are on each type and organization. We'll also suppress the details, and this is going to give us a concise list. So we're going to give it a report name, and we save and run. So this is a more concise list of the data we're looking for. So the organization issue track, and it's broken down by each issue type that was submitted by that organization. All right. So another way to get information out, obviously, is from the search issues page. So if you want to search just on closed issues, you can go do that. So everything closed for organization issue track. And is there not one in there? Must be named. I think it has an underscore. That's why I can't find it. There it is. So the issue track organization, everything closed. So we'll go ahead and search. So say we wanted to save this search. Well, we can do that, and we can run it like a report. So we don't have to go in if we're searching on this all the time and choose those fields. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to say closed again. This time I know to do the underscore for issue track. We're going to give it a search title. So issue track closed issues search. And we're going to save that save the new search. So now save search 192 was successfully created. All right, well, how do we find that? Well, on the issue hub here, we have this reports tab. So you can easily get to the reports that you created and that are shared with you. So if we scroll down, we have the issue track closed issue search. We're going to run that. It's going to display that information we need. So the issue hub, we've really made it a concise area to get a lot of information quickly. I also kind of wanted to show you some of the issue hub settings. So say if we didn't use that reports all the time.
Hey, Patrick,
Yes.
can you do one thing before you get back off the hub? Can you go
Sure.
back through that clone capability one more time, please, and do it a little bit slower?
All right.
Yep.
So
we had one of our attendees want to go through that one more time. So we want to make sure that we get that because it's very important for time saving for all of you.
Right. So you can clone any of the tabs. I've cloned the open issues. What I like to explain is that the open issues is the best one to clone. It's kind of like a default tab. So we'll go here. We want to clone the open issues tab. We click on the gear icon. We'll clone the tab. That brings us to the tab name open issues copy. Well, of course, we're going to rename that. And then we can do all the editing we need. That's, for some reason, it's taken a while for those open issues to load.
I did want to make sure that I had one thing very clear on here. You do have to be a system admin in order to create a tab. So tabs have to be created for you. And then you can have restricted access to them through group restrictions or organization restrictions. So it's not something you can go in and create yourself. But once one tab is created, then the individual view that Patrick was talking about was meaning that on the fly, you can change the view of the tab by adding your own filters or adding your own sorts, but they're not persistent. You have to, every time you go back in, you would have to go back in and re-add them. So just want to make sure that was clear for everybody.
So here is where you edit the restrictions. So under the tab settings, also the issue hub settings, I want to show you that. So you can change the order of the tabs. So if I didn't want reports on the very left-hand side, I could bring it down. Also, we can take some say, I don't need Mike side ops anymore, but I want to keep it around. We can turn those off as well. So you can have as many or as few as you'd need. And this is dynamic as well. So when you make a change, it's going to automatically save. There's no update on here. You can also change the default tab globally as well. So now if we go to the issue hub, you can see the reports have moved. I actually have less tabs now because I inactivated a lot of them.
And again, remember that is a system administrator function.
All right. Also with the search, many of you utilize the UDF fields. So we have some that can be static on here. You can also come in here on the fly, add any UDF values that you want and add to search. Unfortunately, when you come back, the contact name that we just put on here is going to be removed. So I want to show you how to stick these user-defined fields that you use most often on here. So the user-defined fields, we're going to go up to the settings lightbox. We're going to go over to user-defined fields. You see that contact name that I want to keep. So you can see this column for show on search. So all of these ones that are checked are going to show on the search page. So I use contact name all the time. I want to edit that. I want to show on search and update. So now when I go back to the search issues, contact name is going to show. So that's a really good hint and a way to get those fields that you use all the time that you customize to show on the search issues, get to them more quickly. All right, next thing we're going to go over is scheduled reports. So how to get data out. So we can schedule reports. We're going to go to our reports section. We have a scheduled report list here. So you can see the frequency. We can do hourly, daily, annually, pretty much customize how you want it. So we're going to add the scheduled report. And it doesn't have to be a report. It can do save search or report writer report, right? So here's the report writer report I showed you earlier. We have output type. So HTML, it'll be emailed to you. You can click on the links. We have Excel and CSV. So I want to talk about this CSV because it is one of our newer formats that we offer. So say you wanted to get particular data out to another system. Well, CSV is more of a machine language than anything readable by a human. So that CSV file can be sent through an email out to another system, imported in, and that data can be used in other systems as well. Also wanted to show you some of the options here. So we have hourly, we've got daily, we've got weekly, we've got monthly. So we can do the first day of every month. That one's very popular if you're reporting on last month's issue. We can do the third Tuesday of every 4 months. So it's highly customizable here. So I wanted to show you, let's go to one we've already created. I wanted to show you the recipient list. So whoever creates the report is going to be on the recipient list. We're going to go ahead and add recipients. So you can add users from your system. And this data, if we send them this data, we still have the visibility controls. So if you choose a user and you send them a report and some of the information they cannot see in the Issuetrak site, well, they're not going to be sent that information through these scheduled reports. So it retains the visibility. Now you can go here and do just, patrick@aol.com. But you have to be careful because this is not going to filter because we don't know the permissions at patrick@aol.com. So this is going to send every record in that report. So you need to be very careful when adding these email addresses because that data integration is important. So these are most of the ways the reports can, you can get data out of the system as easily as you can put it in, as I was saying.
Patrick,
yes.
can you do me a favor on that
Yep.
output types that you can you show the different options on the output types? HTML, XL, and CSV are the 3 output types, and that's pretty much all the way through the product. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, good. I've got one other thing that came up. LNSN, XL is XLS, not XLSX.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I can explain the reason behind that is because we want to support users with the older versions of Excel. So if we put everything in XLSX, then some of if anyone's using those legacy versions, they wouldn't be able to open it. But so it's backwards compatible so that we do the XLS so that you can open it in any program that can open the Excel files.
That was one of the reasons why you saw me saving a lot of my Excel files in the old 2000, 2003 format, was to use the XLS format, and it converts it over. The thing that happens in here, though, as Patrick said, is we need to be able to use old ones. I've seen other systems do exactly the same thing. It's not something that's uncommon as of right now. So hopefully one day that we'll make a change, but
Yep.
Right now, there's a lot of access 2000 and older being used out there.
And that's a good feature request to maybe if we had a toggle for that. So
yeah.
We do have an issuetrak.com/feedback channel. That's issuetrak.com/feedback. You can put in any suggestion you like there. And
I've got a couple other questions that I'd like to talk about here too, Patrick,
sure.
if you don't mind.
Of
Julie Best was asking, can you report on quick picks? Now, Julie, I'm assuming you want to say which quick picks are being used to create issues. Is that correct? And just type it into the answers. But if that's true, then yes, we can do that for you. Patrick will show you how that can be used. And it's all about the field.
I believe we have that. And it does show on the issues now. I believe we have
you can
field.
There's actually a field that you can include in there, which is essentially the associated quick pick. This allows you to see the name of the quick pick being used on the issue. So you add it to the custom screen, and additionally it is reportable like this. So any report that you want to create using the report writer can also show the associated quick pick name. So if the issue was created by quick pick, then you would be able to see it in your report output. And last question that I kind of want to handle here, because we need to move on a little bit, is I had one attendee that asked me about creating a dashboard by subject. Now, of course, on the dashboard, we can't create one by subject, but we could do something depending on what the need was of creating a report and providing a quick link access to that report. Patrick, go to the query builder for just a second. Let's kind of run through that just really quickly. So Patrick's using a bookmark in order to go to our query builder. So we have a bookmark on the left. And we'll go ahead and look at all issues and do an edit of that query if you don't mind.
All right.
Yeah, you've already got it built, so we'll use it. And then just then we see the subject. Let's go and put the subject up at the top. And then hit next. So one of the things that we're doing here is we are filtering by subject. Now, in general, you may not want to say, I want to see all subjects of all issues. And you're probably looking at how many issues per subject or what the top 10 are. One of the things that you could do is you might want to do, let's do submitted on. So we're going to look at submitted on here. And we're going to use this drop down. And you see where it says days, weeks, months. For example, it may be interesting to see what the subjects are of the issues that were submitted over the last 10 days. So we could select days and do within the last 10 days, and then that would continuously give us the list of issues by subject over the last 10 days. So let's go ahead and use that. And you save and run it. And of course, it probably might not make much in here. So as you see, it's only 7 records because this is a test site. Now, Patrick, we would create a short report with that. So go ahead and just create a quick report with it. See how fast he is. And he's fine to just use the standard format. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because what I want to do is kind of finish this out. We don't need to group it. Just go ahead and hit next. It's sorted by the subject, though. Now, it's difficult with subject because subject can be the same across multiple issues, or they completely be the same issue with completely different subjects, depending on how it's been put in. So subject is tricky. So click next again. Now, what you may want to do is do a count on the issue number, just so you'll get some values on how many issues were created. Then go down and go ahead next again. And then put your title in. Now, we're going to go ahead and do a save and run here. Now, the important thing is at the top of the page, you see there's a URL. So Patrick, go ahead and highlight that URL. We're going to copy that URL. The reason we want to copy that is because we want to create a quick link for you to use as this report. So just like a dashboard. So now Patrick's going to go to custom links. And he's going to add a new custom link. And hit save. Right-hand side, we now have a report of issues by subject created over the last 10 days. And that will continually be a walking report with you. It's always the last 10 days. So it's a good way of taking a look at what some of your hot items are that have been submitted and you controlling that period of time that you want. It could be 15, 20, 30, 60, whatever you want. And that list will be available for any user to use, but it's filtered according to what their user permissions are, just standard filtering. Thank you for asking that question. That was a great example and some of the things that's easy for us to implement within Issuetrak.
All right.
All right, Patrick, got anything else?
No, I think
Okay.
Julie was asking what version was the links added. So were renamed. They used to be called menu options. Now they're custom links, but they've been there. So I would say 10 years, probably at least. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's been some renaming of some of the features to just make them more modern, more clear. So we've done a little of that. Check your release notes. And speaking of release notes, I'm gonna, Patrick, if you're finished and we don't have any more questions,
certainly.
Then we're gonna kind of go into our last session and transition over.
Right.
So hopefully, Patrick,
I had one more thing to show.
please do it.
So if you have any questions at all, we have our help center here. And if you click on the help center, it's going to take you obviously to our help center. Most of the time it will take you to the pertinent information you were looking at. I guess we were on one of those custom links, so it didn't take us to the reports. But if you have any questions at all, this is a great place to get information. If you still can't find the answer, go ahead and contact us here. Just fill out this form and we'll get you an answer. It'll go into one of our sites and we will handle it and get back to you.